Hey guys, Constance here. Welcome back to A Good Life Farm. So I have been doing a little bit of sewing. Sewing is not something I do very often. I can sew, but I don't generally it's not my hobby, I should say. But I do sew from time to time, and about a year or so ago, well actually I have 2 sewing tutorials, well sort of 3, on my channel. One of them is for my farmhouse style apron, my crisscross back apron that I wear all the time. I have several of them, and I've often got them on when I'm in here cooking in the kitchen. And when we first moved out here to the homestead, I had an Etsy shop, and I sold some aprons in there. I sold some things that I had crocheted and things like that. So I do sew from time to time, but I didn't really keep up with an Etsy shop. I just felt that I didn't really have the time to do it, and so I just kind of let that go by the wayside. But I still had a lot of people who wanted to have aprons, and so what I did is I sewed an apron and I filmed the whole process, because that apron is actually really simple to make. You don't need to have a pattern. You just have to cut out some rectangles of fabric to specific sizes and then sew them together, and that's how you make the apron. And so I filmed the tutorial on that, and then I filmed a follow-up tutorial on how to adjust the measurements to customize it for big people and little people. I've had people send me photos of their children or grandchildren with aprons that they had made, and all of that. So a lot of people have made aprons from it, and I love that. So those 2 videos are on the channel. And then a few months back, I don't know, maybe back in the spring or so, I shared how to sew a custom Bible cover, how to measure your Bible and make a cover for it and all of that. Which reminds me, now that I'm thinking about that, I had talked about maybe doing another one to show how to make it with handles. I just now remembered that. Anyways, yeah, so maybe I can do that. But, like I said, from time to time I do some sewing, and I have gone and picked up a whole bunch of fabric, which I have already washed and dried, and you might notice that these colors are very babyish. That is because these are for linens for my grandbaby, who is due in just a couple of weeks. Could be here sooner. The doctors are saying it is a possibility, but due in a couple of weeks. And so these are actually fabrics, really soft fabrics, that I am making sheets for the cradle. Yeah, so that's what these are for. So let me show you the fabric. So this one here is got kind of like plant leaves and butterflies and flowers and stuff like that. This one's just kind of a classic chevron color. Here's another sort of neutral pattern. You can't go wrong with pink checks or buffalo check, right? I saw this one, I thought it was adorable. Little pink bunny rabbits and flowers, mushrooms, things like that. And then this one, adorable little fishies. Thought that was cute. And then the last one I got, I mean, you guys, it's me. I'm on a homestead. I've got chickens, so of course, chicken fabric. Isn't that cute? So these are all fabrics, like I said, I'm going to be making baby sheets out of. If I've got enough scraps, I might put those all together into like a little tiny baby quilt or something. Super simple. But yeah, so I've got those sewing projects. And then I actually have a few other sewing things that I'm going to be doing. Oh, baby blanket. Let me show you the one I've been working on crocheting, which it's almost done. I've just got the trim, they're the final touches. So let me go grab it and show it to you. I have been working on this baby blanket. Now this baby blanket, as I have been working on it and it's been, you know, getting full sized to the size that it's going to be, I realized this blanket is actually really heavy and probably won't ever be used on a newborn. And actually Mr. Smith came and looked at it last night when I was working on it, and he thought the same thing, that it's kind of heavy. So this might end up being like a toddler blanket. Because it is really heavy, but it is so soft. Oh my goodness. Alright, so the body of the blanket, I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of an ivory color. Let's see here. And it's a really kind of a tight pattern. Just really solid, really heavy, really soft. And on one end, I finished it off with pink and lavender. And then I'm going to add that to the other end as well. Let me kind of back up here so you can see it. So, like I said, it's a good size blanket. Will be when it's finished. But definitely too heavy for a newborn. So this side has the color, and then this side will have it as well. And I have to tell you, I have lost count of how many skeins of yarn it took to put this thing together. I mean, a lot, a lot of yarn. And the yarn that I used to make it is by Yarn Bee, and the variety is called Romantic. And it's, like I said, the body of it is sort of an ivory color, and then these baby pink and lavender colors. So this is the big project that I have been working on. And right here is my sewing machine. I mentioned a while back when I was doing the aprons that my old sewing machine that I had really had a hard time doing several layers of that heavy duck cloth. It's like a canvas type of cloth, and it was really struggling. And considering I've got lots of sewing projects in my future, and there's more projects than even what I'm talking about today with the sheets and everything, I decided it was time to invest in a new sewing machine. And so let me show you the sewing machine that I picked up. So the one that I got here is a Brothers brand sewing machine. And honestly, I was in the craft store, I was looking at all of the sewing machines, and from what I was reading about them, I decided this is the one that I wanted. And it is the strong and tough version, which means it is supposed to be able to handle heavy fabrics. And so I thought this might be a good option for when I'm sewing things like aprons. Now, I am not at all an expert on sewing machines, and I've said in the past, I am not a seamstress. I can sew, and there's things that I do sew, but I'm definitely not my grandmother. My grandmother actually was a seamstress. That is what she did for a living. But I can sew a little bit. I actually have been throwing around the idea, since I am taking this year off of gardening, of maybe relaunching a small Etsy shop and just posting some things there, here and there, when I have the time to do it. We'll see. I'm throwing the idea around. So we will see. We'll see what this year brings and how everything goes. Because I do have some ideas for some things that I would like to make. some tutorials that I would like to do, videos that I can show you how to make certain things, but then also have some available in the Etsy shop. But in any case, it is getting late afternoon and it's just about chore time. So I'm going to throw my boots on and head out and do evening chores.